How's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel for a brand new video. So today we're going to be watching and reacting and reviewing the new One Piece opening. I believe this is opening 26. It just came out with the recent episode this past weekend on Saturday. So this opening in particular is probably one of the best openings that One Piece has ever had. I don't know if I'm riding the hype on it, but I think this might be the best one in the series. There are so many things that are happening in this opening, and it's just insane to me. So I watched the episode on my own time, right? So I've seen this opening one time only. However, we're going to go ahead and watch it again. Just watch it all the way through. And then we're going to go back and kind of review it, pause, and point out some hidden details of that are in the opening. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this. More volume. I gotta say, this is a good opening, and I'm loving the art style of this, and it's so much better, because, look, let me just, wow. And I'm liking, they're basically showing everything from Egghead, up until the most recent chapter, right? And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, anime onlys are gonna get spoiled. That shot is sick. Okay, hold on, let me just, I want to talk, but I kind of don't want to talk. Let me just kind of be a little quiet here. Let me tone it down for a bit. That Kuma shot, man. That scene of Shaka, I believe that's when he got shot. Man. This scene in particular, one of my favorites. Look at that. Going through all the outfits. You know, as long as we've known the Straw Hats there. This shot, I love it. I'm loving the art style on this. And I know people, all the transitions, that one in particular, we're going to talk about that one. You saw Vivi transition into Bonnie going into Kuma's memories, right? Crazy. So let's talk about it, right? So that was the opening in full. So let's kind of go back a bit, right? So this opening, as we clearly see, if you're a manga reader, this has everything that's happened thus far, even up until the most recent chapter. And I know some people out there for anime onlys, they're like, oh, you know, I'm never going to watch the openings because they're spoilers. Here's the thing, right? Once upon a time, back in the day, I was an anime only watcher for One Piece. I watched every single opening. As far as the way I see it, and the way many people should see it, the opening shows you, it kind of gives you a taste of what's coming. It's not really a spoiler. Yes, I guess you can call it a spoiler, but it's not literally a spoiler if you don't know the context behind it. And for all of you know, it could just be a tease. You know, there have been many times in One Piece, not just One Piece, but every anime. But let's talk about One Piece. There have been One Piece openings where the animators just specifically craft up something that looks cool. Perhaps a confrontation between so-and-so characters, just for it to never happen in the actual arc that the opening represents, right? So for all the anime only watchers, right? The way I see it, why neglect yourself from watching the opening? Just go ahead and watch it. You're not going to know the context of it. And the way I saw it, it just serves as a teaser, and it builds up hype for me, right? It builds up hype, and it's not really, I don't consider it spoilers. I really don't. It's just kind of like a teaser trailer, like you would see when you watch a movie, you know what I'm saying? But on that same topic, there is going to be a point where it's going to be impossible to avoid One Piece spoilers. And I think we're already at that point. So if you're an anime only watcher, I think you gotta pick up the manga 100%. Imagine when One Piece ends. There's no way. You gotta live in a padded room to avoid spoilers at this point. So let's kind of go with the opening here. Okay? So it starts off right here, right? Immediately, the robot that carries Vegapunk, Lilith, I believe. And right here, hold up, let's actually start from the beginning. All right, One Piece. I believe there's something that caught my eye here. So, okay, so we got all the Egghead outfits, of course. And... Okay. Let's just kind of go step by step. I might just mute it so the song doesn't cut off. I don't know. Anyway. So right here we have the giant robot, right? Right here, the giant robot, and over here in the background you can see Vegapunk. This, if you're an anime only watcher, you're not gonna catch that. You're really not gonna catch that, right? But the giant robot Vegapunk standing on, okay? Pretty cool. Here we get an introduction to all the Vegapunks and their designs, as we all know, York. And then we get a face reveal of Vegapunk, straight up, CP0. All right. Okay. Now, Luffy with his shades. That was a sick power-up, by the way. Can't wait to see that in the anime. They're going to have a lot of fun with 5th Gear, with Gear 5 in this arc, 100%. What the heck? Was that island moving? It was. Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. We got Kizaru. This shot right here with Kuma. We all know what's going on with Kuma currently at the moment. Kuma's flashback is going to be heartbreaking. And then we have Seraphim Jinbei. This shot I thought was interesting when I was looking at it. Because Seraphim Jinbei, this transition, it's almost like it's telling us... what the heck? I almost bumped my keyboard. I think I did. Move my camera a bit. This transition with Jinbei, I believe it's letting us know that he has the capabilities of Senor Pink's Devil Fruit powers. That's kind of how I took it. Right there. Bonnie in the water. Young Sentamaru. Alright. With, you know, we have his whole history with Kizaru. This shot right here is when Vegapunk Shaka gets shot in the head, and the handprints here in the back, I believe those are the other government agents that went missing, you know, when they were kind of deployed to investigate Egghead. They went missing. I believe those are their handprints and silhouettes, shadows here. Well, you know, they were trapped in a kind of like a glass chamber of sorts. Okay, so this part right here, when I I'm looking at this and I was all like, who the heck could be petting like Boa Seraphim? I believe that's York. I'm pretty sure that's York. And if I go back to when all the Vegapunks were introduced, yeah, I believe that could be York. I mean, look, she wearing yellow or orange, whatever the heck. So let's kind of go back here. Oh, those are the, I believe these are the new revolutionaries, or whatchamacallit, vice admirals, Navy soldiers. Where is that shot that we were on? Yeah, I'm pretty sure 100% that's York. This, I really love this right here. Going through all the outfits, all the arcs that Luffy and the crew have gone through, that we have gone through. Look at all this with the crew. I'm loving it, 100%. We get Luffy versus Lucci teaser, Shanks versus Kid. These transitions are sick, and they happen fast. So let's see. We got Luffy, Lucci, of course. Let's go frame by frame. And then there's Kid. Going with Shanks. Although they did a good job masking Shanks, but we all know how that fight went, right? It was a complete OKO. Law and Blackbeard, can't wait to see that. And then after that, we have Aokiji and Garp. This one's going to be emotional. I wonder what's going on with Garp at the moment. The heck was that one? Hold up. Was that Zoro and Seraphim Mihawk? And then, of course, we have Luffy versus Lucci, the rematch. Okay, now this right here. Hold up. They're clashing with 5th Gear, Hockey Fist, whatever the heck. So this right here, of course, it goes into Sabo. And we know that what he witnessed on the empty throne. And right here, we cut to Morgans and Wapple. And of course, you can barely see her, but Vivi is hiding right here because, as we all know, Morgans has them in his protection. So I think this whole scene is pretty sick. Oh no, I gotta go back. I think I just noticed something I might have missed. Yeah, right there, dude. You know what that is? That's a teaser into freaking Eames' power. You know, the freaking devil tail shadow power that stabbed Cobra and I think Sabo to an extent. That's what it is. Oh, I know what this teaser is. Yeah, that's when the elders they freaking show their powers for the first time, and then Sabo Sabo goes in there. He just, no care in the world. He just freaking goes in there with its flame. Yeah, this is Eam, 100%. Look at this, look at this. Oh, it's really hard to pause it. Let me go frame by frame. There we go. Devil Tail, right there. And when I read this chapter, I believe I made a comparison that we know that Eam seems to be the final boss of the series. You know how Luffy is the sun god, Nika? Of course, Eam has to be the opposite of it. So Eam would have to be the devil of the One Piece world. And, you know, traditionally, when it comes to cartoons, the depictions of the devil, like Tom and Jerry, any other cartoons, there's always a tail. The devil's always depicted with a tail like this. So I think that's kind of fitting for Eam. So of course, we covered this. What is this? Hold on. Okay. Now these two hands right here, I believe that is Dragon and Vegapunk and Dragon, who are bringing flowers to the, I guess you could call it burial site, the destruction of Ohara. You know, we saw them in that chapter back in the day when they first met, or, you know, were together in Ohara. And they were kind of there to pay their respects. So I believe that is the case here. Vegapunk and Dragon at Ohara. Okay, we've got the swords and Emu. Okay, the empty throne. I really want to know what the deal with Emu and the butterfly is. I still think Emu is a girl. I have no doubt she's a girl, to be honest. She just looks feminine, the silhouette. This shot right here, sick, dude. Look, goes from Sabo to Kid to Law and then to Kobe. 4 characters who are having immense struggles at the moment, and they're pretty much all done at the moment. I mean, they're not doing well, is what I should say. Although Kobe has a pretty good sick moment with the freaking Galaxy Fist. I think he called it something else. Anyway. Now this right here. This is something I immediately noticed from the first time. When I was watching the episode, I caught onto this immediately. We see here Vivi. And as you can see, it transitions right into Bonnie. So look at this. Look. Watch. Vivi. All right. Going into light. Vivi's going into light. I guess you could argue that this light, this hole in the wall, whatever the heck, I guess you could argue that that's kind of where Wapple was kind of peeking at the situation through the empty throne. You know, how they escaped by breaking through the wall. I guess you could argue that, but look at what happens next. Transitions immediately into Bonnie going into Kuma's memories with the pawpaw fruit. Now, this to me is important because I believe that this is Oda teasing that Vivi is eventually going to get the pawpaw fruit. And when you think about it, this transition makes sense because both Vivi and Bonnie are, you know, they are both dealing with the loss of their fathers. You know, King Cobra, dead. Kuma, dead. Pretty much dead. I mean, his body exists in some form, but he is dead, you know, with his whole mind and consciousness. Although I still think Vegapunk might have actually placed a switch in him to get his consciousness back, as he kind of alluded to in the chapter when Kuma died. Although it would be hard to get past St. J. Garcia's Saturn because he's also a man of science. But I believe Vegapunk could do it. And I'm going to be mad. And it's going to be such an injustice if Kuma dies without seeing Nika in Luffy. If anything, hopefully he gets consciousness back, sees Luffy / Nika, and then dies. I don't want him to die, but if he had to, that's how I would want him to go. But as mentioned, 2 women in the One Piece world who are close to Luffy and his crew at this point. Vivi, honorary Straw Hat member. And after this arc, Egghead Island, Bonnie 100% has to be an ally. If not joining the crew permanently, has to at least ally herself with the Straw Hats for practically the remaining of the series. So as I was saying, Vivi transitions into Bonnie, and both dealing with the loss of their fathers, their dads. So I think in this situation, Vivi might get the pawpaw fruit. Bonnie can't have it, right? Vivi 100% is a good candidate, and I believe there was a SBS a while back, like way back in the day, of some guy asking Oda questions on, hey, I noticed that each Straw Hat that has a devil fruit, there is a numeric value or a play on words. And I believe that the only numbers that were missing in that were, I believe, what was it, like 2 and 3 or something like that? I don't remember off the top of my head, but the play on words is that the numbers missing correlate to Kuma's devil fruit power. So this individual was asking Oda, is Kuma going to join the Straw Hats? And then Oda's answer was like a quick, like, he basically said, he basically changed topics and said he was not going to go more further into that. And that was that, right? So I believe this is a big hint in the fact that Vivi might get the Papa fruit power. And, you know, Oda, for something like this, I think he does have it planned. And it wouldn't be the first time that he gives his anime director something that even the manga hasn't explained at the moment. Not to mention that when you think about how Lily, how Eam got so mad at what Lily did back in the day, when you think about it, how could someone like Lily distribute the poneglyphs all over the One Piece world, right? It makes sense if she were to have had Kuma's power in the past, because as we all know, that can transport objects and people all across the world. That would be the best way, the perfect way of explaining how the poneglyphs separated and scattered all over the world. And, not to kind of downplay on these characters, but Vivi doesn't really strike me as a hand-to-hand specialist in combat. So by her getting this type of devil fruit ability, it would 100% enhance her powers and allow her to be a formidable member of the Straw Hats without really being a hand-to-hand combatant, kind of like Nico Robin, right? Because Robin, she's tough, but most of her powers is just long range. Let's call it. She plays a distance game, right? So I think this is probably the biggest foreshadow or teaser that we have in this opening. And, overall, I'm really glad that we got this opening, because I'm going to just be honest. My personal opinion, the last 2 openings for Wano were weak. Probably one of the weakest in the entire series. Just so slow and kind of boring, in my opinion. But in general, like this, there's a lot to really unpack in this opening. And as mentioned, like moving forward now, like if it wasn't already, spoilers in One Piece are going to be impossible to avoid. And this transition in particular, I think this is probably the most... this one tells a lot, and I would be amazed if this does not come true. I mean, look at that right here. That's crazy to me. That's just there's no way that's coincidence. 100%, that's not coincidence, because it starts. Okay, so right here, right. It starts. We're talking about struggles, right? Got Dragon and Vegapunk at Ohara. Struggles, right? They cut to the empty throne, right? Then we got the struggles of Sabo, Kid, Law, Kobe. Cut into Vivi and to Bonnie entering the freaking memory. All those characters have struggles in common right now that are very real. And particularly, as mentioned, Bonnie and Vivi. So this is not a coincidence, 100%. Oh man, overall, this opening is sick. I love it. I love it so much. I think it has to be the best opening of One Piece so far. There's a lot to really unpack, like I said. And there's a lot of teasers and Easter eggs, and if you're an anime only watcher, just watch the thing. It's not going to spoil anything. You're not going to know the context of it. It's just, it builds hype. That's how I always saw it. I always watch every single opening. I don't care. Even when I was just anime only back in the day for One Piece. Overall, this is an amazing opening. The art style, the direction, very, very cool. The opening, the ending is also really great as well. I think in general, this entire arc of Egghead Island is going to be sick. Probably one of the best in the series. It already is one of the best arcs in the manga, 100%. Ever since it started last year. And by last year, I mean 2022, because we just ended 23, right? Oda has been on fire. Like, he has not missed a single time with this arc. And if the anime pacing is good, it's gonna be incredible. And I believe the flashbacks outside of the Egghead, the happenings outside of Egghead itself are probably the best points of this arc. Now we just gotta see how it ends. Anyway, guys, look, that was my reaction and review for the new One Piece opening. Let me know what y'all thought. There's a lot to really dissect here, but I think I did a good job covering everything that stuck out to me. I might have missed something. Let me know if I did. But beyond that, hope you guys have a good night. Stay safe out there. Take care. And I'll see you in the next video.